So our speaker this morning is a former adjunct faculty of Asian Institute of Management. He has the professional expertise of the following: strategic planning to execution, operations management, organizational and culture development, professionalization and growing of family businesses, franchise development to execution, business coach, an entrepreneur, and a mentor. Our speaker is presently engaged helping in reviving, rebooting, repurpositioning, and reformatting interrupted businesses while syndicating opportunities for client companies in the new normal pandemic era. His core expertise is in hand-holding family-run enterprises craft and implement sustainable strategic business roadmaps, balancing in holistic approach the family dynamics and corporate governance interacting systems. His past and current involvement in companies as independent board of director or a business management consultant covers both family and corporate governance systems, such as managing or providing guidance to family corporations in the areas of conflict prevention, professionalizing, succession planning, and family board governance. He founded FAMCOR in 2010, and with his team of consultants, they facilitate the crafting of family constitution and organizing the family council, and holding and organizing of a working professional board, crafting and guiding in the execution of a strategic plan, designing of organizational development programs, facilitating management systems, and talent search and coaching programs. He is among the few certified franchise executives accredited by the World Franchise Council. He has been overseeing a number of businesses in their expansion strategies, including the franchise development of business concepts and or the execution of previously developed franchise systems, evaluation, and improvement of franchise or business operations to achieve profitability, franchise system compliance, sustainability, and national expansion programs. Professor Esprita was a top-notcher in the Chemical Engineering Board in the year 1982 after graduating cum laude from University of San Carlos. He was awarded 2010's Most Outstanding Alumnus of the said university. He earned his master's degree in business management at the Asian Institute of Management as a full ADB scholar. Later, he became an adjunct professor of AIM or Asian Institute of Management. Recently, he was also honored with the Asia HRD Award 2019 as a mover and shaker in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He was the president of Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry and current chairman of RDC7 Economic Development Committee. He is Go Negocios Visayas coordinator and lead mentor in Kapatid Mentor Me program and chairman of the Asian Institute of Management Alumni Association. He is a life coach, servant leader, and a shepherd. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all welcome our highly credible speaker, Professor Virgilio Nonoy G. Estelita.
Thank you very much, Francis, for that very generous introduction. And I'd like to also acknowledge Director Leo, who has been instrumental also in organizing this. We sit together in the Economic Development Committee, in the Regional Development Council, in Region 7. That's also one of the things that keeping me busy today. And in fact, I have two meetings today. I cannot, I have to continue this because right now, you know, Cebu is very, I would say, in a very critical situation. Immediately after this, I will catch up with the IATF meeting. Sina Secretary Doki and Galvez, General Galvez are here right now, so I have to also catch up. So let me just go straight to my topic, my presentation, and if I may be allowed to, and can you see? You see this? Is this okay? Can you see this? Yes, sir. Okay. Um, here, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be with you today. And, this pandemic has really disrupted every one of us in the good, maybe some in a good way, but most of us really, I would say, in a very, very difficult situation. That's why I entitled this 4RI Business Journey. Meron naman tayong 4IR. Ito 4RI. So 4RI kasi tayo dito. No? Nag-aaray tayo dito. Nag-aaray tayo sa nangyayari ngayon. So that's why we've been busy about, doing tests, border pass, health standards, etc. But moving forward, especially in the other parts of the country, we need to move and coexist with the virus. So here my topic is about reviving, rebooting, repositioning, reformatting interrupted businesses. I call that the 4RI business journey. I've done this with my clients. I've done this with the Chamber of Commerce, the board. I've done this with our community, the Bukas Loob sa Diyos businesses. I've done extensively workshops for this. Right now, since I am only given 1 hour, we will not go through the workshop, but I'll just give you maybe some guide posts. I'll talk to you about partly of the module, just to explain to you about what we should look at when we revive, reboot, reposition. I call this the two words of either reposition or repurpose or reposition. So if you do both things, repositioning and reformatting of the business. Okay, so how do I move forward? Okay, this was last night's update, yesterday's update. 353 new cases in Cebu. I'm presenting this because Cebu is the only city that is left in the ECQ status. But do not hold your guards down in the other cities, in the other places, because the virus is still here. Now, this pandemic has taught us many, many lessons. But at the end of the day, we don't have control over this. We can only try to be very, very careful, but the virus, we cannot see this virus. So we have to live and we have to learn how to coexist with this virus. Let me start with a prayer. At this point in time, we have to seek refuge with the Lord. There is nothing we can do but only try to be very, very careful that it is always the Lord who will take care of us. So our prayer should always be as if like kapit patalim tayo na sumasandal tayo sa Panginoon sa panahon na ito. So let us pray together. In the silence of your heart, let us pray Psalm 57. Be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me, for in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destruction pass by. In anything that we do, we have to seek the guidance of the Lord. The Lord can only allow us to do things. But on the best effort, we do this, but it is always the Lord who will make things happen. So 353 cases the highest ever in Cebu. In fact, here, um, how can I move this? Okay, I mean, okay, so here, you look at the challenge now is to balance life and livelihood in this pandemic era. Just this morning, I got this news, Straight Times in Asia, Cebu City to be the new COVID epicenter. It's so sad. And today, COVID is even more present around. COVID is still around. The curve has not flattened. This is supposed to be what this lockdown should do for us in 3 to 8 weeks, but we are beyond 8 weeks. I think we're in the 12th or more than 12 weeks already. The curve is supposed to flatten, but we haven't flattened the curve. And if you look at on the right side, the Philippines continue to, the curve has not flattened. And with more tests being conducted, the curve will continue. This graph is going to continue. In fact, if you read yesterday, I got the study from UP. It says we might reach about 60,000 by end of July if we do the same thing. If nothing dramatic will be done to curb this transmission. In Cebu, we're now about 5,000 level. It is predicted it will reach 15,000 if we do not do any drastic move to arrest this. So we have to learn again, but it is very scary. However, what is scarier is that people are getting hungry. People do not have anything anymore. So the balance here is also to ramp up the economy, because a prolonged halt of the economy will paralyze everyone. And the private sector is drained already with losses in the past months, and in fact, many are already incapable of sustained employment. The LGUs cannot sustain dole-outs, and with limited resources, it will incapacitate agencies, leading to a huge socio-political unrest and upheaval. So we have to live with COVID. What economic activities should we focus and support with limited stimulus package from the government? Because sinasabi na nga ng presidente, wala na tayong pera. Umuutang na tayo ngayon. Pero saan tayo tututok with limited resources? This is a challenge. In fact, I brought this up with the Regional Development Council, and 2 days ago we had also the National Conference of private sector representatives across. I brought this up also. Protecting people is a top priority with the new health protocols. So it is very important to balance health and economy to avoid societal, political, and worsening poverty that destabilizes society. So here, but we cannot do this alone. It is very important to have a well-coordinated plan to ensure phased-in economic activity create sufficiency, resilience, and lessening the burden on the LGU. That's right. Now, even more. No, in fact, in the study of UK, it says everything is top down. What they're suggesting is people should not be looked at as a problem. People should also be part of the solution. So we have to work together on this. So here is the challenge of how to balance work and life, to balance life and livelihood. Okay, for those who are business owners, I've seen the profile. There are business owners, there are employees, there are teachers, there are also students. Look at this from the perspective of the owners. Going back to business, going back to work. The owners need to balance two things, profitability and safety. Because when you operate the business, you have to be profitable. The safety of the workplace and making sure you prevent that there is transmission in the workplace. The question is, Is your business ready? Is your business ready to go back to open? I will discuss that later because I think not everybody, not all businesses should reopen. Not all businesses are ready to reopen. And in fact, many businesses will not really be opening again. It's not back to the usual. So we need to have, when you bring back people, even at the individual level, personal and team mindset is very, very important. You haven't seen people in the past 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, etc., and you bring them back. And in fact, many people are afraid to go back to work because they might get the infection at the workplace. So if you have less confidence on the people, like the people have less confidence in going back to work, you will not have a productive environment. It's very, very important that you have to debrief your people. Para bang, hey, we are at war, di ba? Nasa giyera tayo. Galing sa giyera, hindi pa nga tapos ang giyera. Yung mga tao mo bumabalik, merong trauma yan. May trauma. In fact, one of the topics they asked me to organize is about, the trauma management. Stress, because there's so much stress around. New workplace health standard. Hindi na back as usual. Dapat meron ka ng bagong workplace health standard. And DTI and DOLE has come up with the interim workplace standards. Meron yan. And of course, interim dapat meron pang improvement yan. Test, trace, and treat is very, very important. This is a project now of the government together with the private sector to continue testing and tracing and treating. This is very, very important, especially in your workplace. We are encouraging that you even test your people before going back to work. Tracing, because if somebody is infected there, you need to have the tracing capability and the treatment. Immediately you treat your people, which is a confidence building activity for your people as well as in the workplace. And your customers are assured that when they get into your store, in your establishments, they know that your people are treated, they know that your people are tested, and they are safe. And you practice the workplace health standards. So your workplace should be certified safe. And this is one of the things that we have lobbied with the city government, such that there will be certification of workplaces. Again, some businesses will say, no, dagdag na naman yan sa, abala sa atin. Pero again, as I've said, this is not back to normal. This is not back to usual. So we have to continue. We have to do this. Okay, so. Okay, few things that we should also consider, again, when you check the readiness and viability to resume operations, there will be new assumptions. There will be new assumptions because your assumption pre-COVID will not work anymore. Most of them will not work anymore. And you have to, kasama dito sa discussion ko, yung rebooting. Kasi yung assumption mo, kung ang assumption mo ganyan ang market, hindi na ngayon. So you need to reboot, you need to redo your assumptions so that you will have a good plan. Remember, there are no bad plans, there are only wrong assumptions. That's why you need to revisit your assumptions, including the changing costs. The costs have been increasing. Why? Because of the issues on logistics, issues on the supply, on the importation, etc. And also, if you're locked down or there's limited movement, the costs, including the supply chain, is going to be challenged. Rigid protocols, as I've said, the rigid protocols in the new workplace has to be incorporated. And the most challenging is your liquidity. May pera ka pa ba? In the past 3 months, hindi tayo nag-operate. Ganyan. Puro labas ang pera. Ang daming naghingi. From the different business, the business sector is also being solicited. left and right, left and right. And in fact, most of us, I know that most businessmen are still supporting their employees, even if there is no operation, because they want to make sure that their employees have something to eat. So even kung walang trabaho yan, ang daming mga negosyante na nagpakain sa mga tao nila. Okay, so back to business, back to work. Now, these are some of the things that we have also to check. Market confidence. Nag-umpisa ito sa market confidence. Kung walang kumpiyansa ang consumidor, walang pupunta sa tindahan. Kung walang benta ang tindahan, walang supply. Kung walang supply, walang production, walang manufacturing, etc. etc. Kung walang market confidence, hindi lalabas. Ingat, ingat. Lagyan ko na dito in Cebu, particularly for the people in Cebu, we will have to work doubly hard because of the situation now. The attention is now in Cebu, and when we are used to be one of the biggest, tourist destination, now we have to work doubly hard to repackage Cebu as a healthy and a safe work, a safe place to visit. New preferences and behaviors. Yung market natin, pag-lockdown natin, ano ngayon ang importante sa tao? Takot na sila. Anong preferences nila? Kasama yun, yung anong importante sa kanila. At saka itong negosyo mo, essential ka ba o hindi? Okay, alam naman natin, pagkain ang importante ngayon. You can live without buying a new car. We can live without maybe even buying a new shoes. We can live without buying a new bag, etc. Importante ngayon ang essentials. Is your business a high risk? Is it a spreader? Sinasabi ko spreader yan kung ang company mo, there are a lot of people coming in and out, hindi mo kontrolado. Pero kung kontrolado mo ang pupunta sa trabaho mo, no, you are safer there. Timing is very important. Speed versus caution. Because ngayon, sa panahon na ito, kung may opportunity, kailangan mabilis ka. Pero, meron ka na naman, no? Kung minsan, mag-ingat ka. Because a lot of things are changing so fast. Location. What used to be very good location may not be the best location today. That's why I challenge some franchisors, revisit your franchise model. Yung lease rental, what used to be a very good location, mahal ang rental yan. Sa ngayon, yung mga restaurant hindi nga nakaka-operate. So, kailangan mag-negotiate ka dyan sa mga lease rental mo dyan. Organizational and people preparedness. How prepared are you? So, kailangan may checklist ka. Gagawa ka ng checklist bago ka magbukas ng business. Kung nakabukas ka na ng negosyo, you have to revisit, you have to check on these checklists. Kung meron ka bang ginawa o meron ka pa bang dapat gawin. Okay? So, here, this is a very, very important slide. You can screenshot on this. No? I suggest that you just screenshot whatever things that you like in the presentation. Okay, here is sabi dito, decoding of the economics. Sino yung potential winners and losers in the short term? Pero how short is short? I don't see the dust will settle until the end of the year. Maybe end of the year, yes, it will settle. Hopefully. But what is really short term? So here, you can identify yourself. Nasa right side ka ba? Winner ka ba? Or nasa left side ka ba? Saan ka ba? If you're an employee, saan ka? Anong negosyo ang employer mo? Okay. If your parents are employees or working or in business, saan ba sila? Because anticipate. Now, on the left side, you will really have a hard time. We used to be, as I've said, in Cebu, for example, tourism, leisure was a pillar. BPO was a pillar. OFW was a pillar, economic pillar. Lahat yan disrupted. So, reality check. Is my business badly impacted? What are the chances of reviving? If you revive, will you survive? So, the question I also ask, should I exit now or just wait? Am I poised to take advantage of the new opportunities? Because there are new opportunities on the right side. And what industries can I switch into? So, in fact, we did a survey among the members of the Chamber of Commerce here. And I'm amazed. No? And I look at the result, the respondents, 75% of the respondents were saying, we want to sell the business, we want to look for joint venture partners to help us, or we want to merge, we want to consolidate, etc. 75%. So, disrupted. Kailangan ng tulong, kailangan ng partner. Maybe some others because of financials. Assess your resources, your budget, and then ask yourself, who can help me? Who can help you during this time? So where are you seated? Parehas na ito, the same slide ito kanina. Where are you seated? Oh, nasan ba yung parents mo? Or nasan ba yung mga employers mo? Where are you seated? So, nasa front seat ka ba? Or nasa back seat ka ba? So, kung nasa back seat ka, matagal ka pa. Matagal pa ang reviving of the business. Matagal pa to. Kaya sabi ko nga sa ibang kliyente ko, kung nandito ka sa back seat, huwag niyong pilitin. Kasi parang nasa ICU ka. You will continue to have life support, but it will take so much time. So, maybe. So, that's why I say, maybe you should reboot. Okay? Kung nasa front seat ka, take advantage. Do it fast. Kung nasa mid seat ka, ingat ka. Financial services, yung mga bangko, ingat ka. May mag-default. Education, hanggang ngayon, pinag-usapan pa. Virtual ba? Meron bang enrollment, etc. Oil and gas, both, you're affected here. You can also, kaya nandito yan sa gitna, oil and gas. Assessment, this is what we do for our clients. No? For example, kung anong business ka, we will check. And then your state of capability, what are you capable? So we will do assessment, financial capability, management capability, market extent, etc., etc. I put here attractiveness. Why? No? May interesado ba sa iyo? Anong meron ka na pwedeng mag-invest yung ibang tao sa iyo? So I'm doing this because out of that survey result, our company is also repurposing. PAMCOR is also repurposing to also help companies in mergers and acquisition, joint ventures, as well as in selling their businesses. No, so I've done this in the past, so we're also putting focus also on this to help businesses. Next, workshop. We don't have time for this, but this is what you can do. No, assess your position, assess your industry position in your geographic location. So just do a screenshot of this. Okay, next. Why are we in business? Again, a workshop here. No? I was quoted here. This is not back to usual. For you to survive, you have to bite the bullet. You have to reposition your business. And, ito importante, don't fall in love with your business. Fall in love with your market. Kasi kung minsan, yung negosyo mo dahil, yung lolo ko pa nag-upisa dito. Oo nga, pero lugi ka na. Oo nga, pero irrelevant yung business mo. Don't fall in love with your business. Always fall in love with the market. Why? Your market are the people you are offering solutions to their problems. So ito on the left side, look at this. No? In fact, this is the concept of entrepreneurship. Why are we in business? The mindset is always, you should find and offer unique but profitable solutions to problems. Kaya sabi nga ng marami dyan may problema ba dyan? O may pera dyan? No, problem, opportunity. May pera dyan kung may problema. Okay, so ngayon, ang laki ng problema. Behind these problems, people who are smart will make money. Okay? So, here is the mindset. Always, no? Sabi nila, magnegosyo ako. What problem are you trying to solve? Again, dagdagan ko lang ito, finding and offering unique but profitable solutions to big and recurring problems. Kailangan maghanap ka ng malaking problema. Big and recurring problems. Why? Kung hindi naman big problem yan, small money lang yan. Kung hindi naman recurring problem yan, isang beses ka lang kumita dyan. No? So look at big and recurring problems and you find opportunities to help them. No? Quickly, you're familiar with this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay? Saan ang importante ngayon? Nandito ngayon ang importante. You can live without some of the, yung mga extra ano diyan, no? So dito ang importante sa baba at this point in time, no? So I'll quote Zig Ziglar. He says, "Stop selling, start helping." Stop selling, start helping. Because you see a lot of people, they always sell their product. They're so product focused. But you should be offering solutions. Help with your solutions. That is business. Okay, so here, I'll go now to the reviving, rebooting. I'll go fast on this. No? Reviving from the root word, vive, to live, to be resilient. Okay, itong binibigay ko sa mga clients ko. Self-diagnostic before reopening. Kung hindi ka pa naka-open, mag-self-diagnostic ka. Kung nag-open ka na, look at this. Saan ka ba? Gainer ka ba? Loser? You check your cost structures because you have higher inputs and you have re-entry costs. Yung mga re-entry costs like ayusin yung workplace mo, re-entry cost yung mag-test ka ng mga empleyado mo, etc. Yung re-entry cost mo, kailangan mo i-transport yung mga employees mo, etc. Bigyan ng boarding house, etc. Whatever. No? So these are higher costs. Viability projection. No? And if you are not achieving your numbers before, you have to look at options to resize or streamline your business. And even manpower redeployment or retrenchment because DOLE has already allowed this. No? Sabi ng DOLE, huwag lang kayo mag-terminate. Pwede naman mag-redeploy. Pwede naman i-floating lang yung mga tao. So, look at those options. Choose profitable clients. There are clients that are difficult to manage, matagal magbayad, etc., etc. Malaki pa ang gastos mo dyan, etc. So, choose profitable clients. Replenishing working capital. Saan ka ba kukuha ng additional capital? Galing sa savings mo o maghihiram ka? For me, particularly, buti na lang may nagpahiram sa akin. So, para akong nag-reinvest, para akong nag-reboot. I'll explain that later. No? Kasi, sumusweldo tayo and tuloy-tuloy yung may expenses mo, nagre-rent ka pa, hindi naman ng rental ng office mo. No? So, kasi pag itigil mo yan, domino effect yan domino effect. No? As much as possible, you have, to me, kung kaya, and isip ko naman, I will just recover. Reopening checklist, importante. Look at your pending commitments, pre-ECQ. Assess or secure reorders from your clients. Pero sabihin mo, teka, kailangan ba i-revise itong terms of re-engagement with clients? Pababaan to ba? O ba? Kasi naghihirap din siya? Or pataasan ko dahil tumaas yung cost ko? Kailangan mo i-reevaluate yan. What is your reopening procedures? Hindi yung parang switch lang When you reopen your business, hindi pwedeng switch lang. Kailangan may mga preparation. Kaya sinabi ko nga, may checklist ka dyan. Mind setting and confidence building of staff. Takot yung mga tao mo. Kailangan yung mga managers mo, unahin yung managers na malakas ang loob nila. Kasi pag hindi malakas ang loob nila, pati yung mga tao nila, takot. Compliance on new work health standards and re-engineering of workplace. Social distancing. Mask. You will have to provide your people with masks or you give mask allowance, etc. So, that's additional cost to you. Kung sabihin mo sa mga tao mo, suot ka ng mask. Wala nang pang mask. So, mapilitan ka. Alcohol, sanitizer, etc. These are new protocols that you have to consider. Okay? So, reviving. Anong option mo? Survive, coast along, buy time. Hintayin na lang natin. Mag-revive na yan. Anong gawin mo? Anong gawin mo habang naghihintay ka? These are some of the options. Facility conversion for COVID need. Ito ngayon, naghahanap sa Cebu ngayon, quarantine, isolation center. Sabi nga ni George Shimato, hindi pwede yung public school, quarantine. So, maybe we will look for other, pwedeng quarantine or yung hindi serious sa hospital, pwedeng ilagay mo doon sa hotel, etc. No? Lagyan ng mga nurses at mga doctors, etc. No? Options yan, no? Retooling and upskilling time. Lalo na ngayon, kailangan ng mga tao mo, kailangan IT enabled, IT literate. So, kailangan retooling and upskilling. Maintenance work. No? Kung ano yung kailangan gawin, mag-maintenance work ka na lang. Renovation, re-engineering, reassess resources. Your liquidity, or maybe restructuring of borrowings. Ang dami dyan na may amortization. Kailangan puntahan mo yung bangko mo. Huwag kang maghintay. Huwag kang mag-assume. Pupuntahan mo yung bangko mo. Kasi ang bangko, ayaw din nila mag-default ka. So, agree. No? Work with your bank. No? Mag-restructure ka. Pahabaan mo. Imbis 3 years to pay, gawin mong 5 years to pay. Imbis na 5 years to pay, gawin mong 10 years to pay. Buti na lang yan kaysa mag-default. Board or owners reassess their options. This is the best time. Maybe to reboot, to plan based on those, sino yung winner, sino yung loser, kung nasaan ka, you have to reassess, you have to plan, and be quick about it. Be quick about it. Partnership is an option. Joint venture, sell out, exit is an option. So this is something that you should take into account when you revive your business. Reboot. We go to the reboot. Okay? As if you just started a new business. I always ask this to my clients, especially those businesses. Pre-COVID, tinatanong ko na ito sa mga clients ko na nasa family business. Lalo na yung mga nag-assume lang ng business. Kasi ito na yung nakasanayan namin. But the question is, will you go into the same business you're into with this scenario? Yung iba, sabi na, mahirap na kasi nandito na kami. Baon na kami dito If given the chance, start from zero. Will you go into that same business? Kasi kung sinabi mo, nasa losers kami. Okay, if you continue doing that, then you will continue to lose. So it's about time to really reboot, but it's not going to be very easy. When you reboot, you have to look at the new assumptions, the market, the industry. Because the market, which used to be big, it now has shrunk maybe to 30% only. And remember, there are many players. Pre-COVID, there are many players. Naghihintayan kayong market lumaki. Yung market hindi man immediately lumaki yan. So, dahan-dahan paglaki. Ang dami niyo nakaabang. Patayan ng presyo yan. You have to look at, maybe, saan ka pwede? Market, industry. So, maybe you go back to the right side, yung nasa right side ng chart. Project your new hurdle. Your economic levels. What is your break-even levels? Kaya ba natin yan? Collaborate with supply chain players to ramp up your operations. Kasi especially disrupted ang supply chain. Yung mga border locks, yung mga hindi maka-ship, hindi maka-import, etc. So you have to look at and create new supply chain. So anong weakest link mo doon sa new supply chain mo? And you have to be geographically focused. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, kasi ang hirap ngayon yung inter-shipment. Speed to market is very important, especially now. Kung may opportunity, immediately, kailangan mabilis ka. Kasi mawala yung opportunity ka agad. But you have to balance it. Anong gusto mo? Speed versus cost. Gusto ko mura. Pero wala nga. Ito, mabilis. Nandyan, pero mas mahal. Anong pipiliin? This is also opportunity for you to rehire, retrain, rehabilitate, and very, very important, rebuild public confidence. Again, recapitalize or borrow. And I introduce here the concept of competition arrangement. Sinabi ko nga kanina sa dami ninyo nag-aabang ng shrink, nag-aabang ng growth of a very, very, I would say, depressed market, magpapatayan kayo dyan. No? So, bakit hindi kayo mag-uusap-usap? Sabi ko na dito, with the shrinkage of the market size, changing preferences and loss of confidence to spend during the COVID-19 pandemic era, a good win-win option is agri-business. You agree among your competitors. The idea of competition has never been more prudent today. Kung nasa restaurant kayo, anong kaibahan ng crispy pata niya at crispy patata niya? May sauce, may templa, ganyan, yan. Pero kung wala namang differentiation, pwede bang ikaw magluto ng crispy pata ko? Pwede ba yung komisari mo? Mag-share tayo? Or pwede ba yung delivery? Or pwede ba yung backroom support, etc.? So I have clients here that they own multiple brands. They own multiple brands. They have different commissaries. They have different kanya-kanyang accounting, kanya-kanyang, structure, etc. So it is time to, merge them and have only one common commissary, one common accounting department, one common, etc., etc. You have to do that. Otherwise, if you do the same, mahirapan kayo. Okay, I go to repurposing and repositioning. If you do both, I coined this word, repurpositioning. Okay? So, here, again, I go back to the fundamental question, fundamental idea, concept, that business is about solving problems. Your purpose is to solve problems. It is about offering better options to address what is muddy. What is muddy? Now, I borrow this from my senior associate partner, consultant, Professor Ned Roberto, who used to be my professor in AIM. Sabi niya, muddy. What is missing, annoying, disappointing, and irritating. And business is a calling to help. It is a mission. Kasi pag magnegosyo ka lang, for pera-pera lang yan. Madaling mawala yung pera. Pero kung may mission ka, you will prosper. Kasi meron kang purpose. What problem are you solving? Who are you helping? Very important yan. Understanding the new normal, market behavior, preferences, mood, and new hierarchy of needs. And what makes you different? This is very important. Okay, what makes you different? Because if you're just the same with the others, and if you ask your customers, what will you miss if I close? Kung sasabihin niya, I don't miss anything because I can buy it anyway. So, wala kang value proposition. So you cannot leave it by chance, but you have to change. What are the changes you should embrace? Capitalizing on technology. Ito for IR. Ito yung favorite topic ng host natin, DICT, no? Technology. Sabi nga Jack Ma, if you are not the internet, if you are not IT-enabled, you lose business. Wala ka sa negosyo. Contactless commerce. This is very prevalent now. No? Ngayon, ang DICT, bida ngayon sa lahat. Lahat ng mga agencies gusto ng tulong DICT. No? Off-site, work from home. This is a new norm. New clusters of geographically interconnected supply chains. Alliances, very important. Build alliances. And you have to network. Build alliances and network. Sabi nga ng kaibigan ko si Francisco, if you are not networking, you are not working. Cooperative to corporative. No? So I have espoused on this, even in the RDC, to form corporatives. You can take a shot on this, because this is a very long, this is about the business model canvas. You can Google this. Google business model canvas. In the Google, it appears. You can have, video. You can have the images. And this is going to, so I don't have to explain on this, but this is a very, very powerful tool for businesses. You should need to reposition, or you should define your business model, because the pre-COVID business model canvas is not anymore the same today. So, ito yung rebooting mo. Kailangan na baguhin mo yung business model canvas. The other thing also, now I go into reformatting. Internal organization. Now, I'm using this, no, this is my very, very important tool also in helping businesses, no, the 7S model of McKinsey. When you reformat, no, you have to redefine your shared values, business, your vision, mission, and values in the pandemic era. You will put there health, well-being, and then the strategic plan. Normally, it's a 2 to 3 year timeline. However, with this pandemic, I would say there is a moving strategy. Structure with the new protocols, the work-life balance, and then systems you embrace, and implement technology, the 4IR technology. Skills, upskilled, multitasking. Staffing, maybe work from home, freelance, and your style is about leadership. Entrepreneurial leadership is even more important. I'd like to emphasize also stewardship in the business. Reformatting in the industry. Okay, so may reformatting ka internally, may reformatting ka sa industry and enabling agency. Industry linkages. Kailangan mag-link ka dyan sa mga chambers of commerce, industry associations, who does this and that. No? Kailangan ito ecosystem. You should be part of an ecosystem. So, kailangan ka ng strong linkages. No? Competition, corporatives. Again, no, I discussed this. This is the way to go. No? If you cannot do it alone, why don't you invite others to co-own and be yung supply chain players mo can be part of the corporative. No? Legislation, policies, and focus on healthcare system, focus on human capital, health, environment, and incentivize medical profession. Government to drive economic activity and not restrict business. And I have been pushing this even in the RDC. No? Government agencies should be enablers. Hindi sila yung strict regulatory. No? Kailangan magtulungan tayo dito. Country and LGU sufficiency and resiliency. The LGUs are even more challenged, especially meron kang mga returning OFWs, meron kang mga returning ng mga balik probinsya, etc. Plus dinagdagan yung mga unemployed. Kailangan na pag-usapan yan si LGU. Develop business continuity plan because this crisis, itong tinatawag na Black Swan, hindi natin nakalain eh. Pero Black Swan, talagang it really interrupted everybody of us, disrupted everybody of us. Ano pang pwedeng mangyari? So you have to have business continuity plan. Financial system to absorb shocks. Okay. And ito, on a bigger scale, in fact, if you're familiar with this, now you can also Google this, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm emphasizing here the top 3. And this has to be the focus. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, and well-being. Nagiging even more relevant today. The UN Sustainable Development Goals. Marami naman yan, 17 yan. Sabi ng iba, hey, you have to balance it, everything. But, hey, I want to focus on these 3. Sa ngayon. Of course, I'm not saying I will disregard also the others. The environment, etc. I'm not saying that. But at this point in time, survival eh. Sabi ng mga businessmen 2020 is gone. We've lost money already. The only way, if you want to remain in business, is just to survive. It's just to have zero income, zero loss. You're good at it. If you have income, well and good. If you have losses at the end of the year, how do you cover that loss? How will you recover that loss? Okay. So it's very important to focus, especially, and to rally everybody in the right focus. That's why in the RDC, I said, if you have so many programs, let's focus on few significant and very, very relevant programs today. So here, again, just quickly, this is what I do. This is what you should do. You have to do a SWOT analysis. Siguro familiar ka sa SWOT, no? You can again Google this. But what is very important now is in relation to the pandemic era. In the SWOT analysis, in the external analysis, you try to look at the PESTEL model, the PESTEL questions. What affects you? Either it is an opportunity or it is a threat. Political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, environmental factors, and the legal factors. PESTEL, remember that, PESTEL. Here, in the analysis here, the strengths and weaknesses, this is internal. Huwag mong ilagay yung strength mo kung meron din ang competitor dyan, hindi strength mo yan. Kailangan strength mo, sa'yo talaga yan. No? So, if you are able to derive this, then you also have to come up with your attack strategy. You have the strength and the opportunity. You have the attack strategy. You have the strength. You have the threat. You have to come up with your defense strategy. If you have the opportunity and you're weak into that, you have to build alliances. What is your alliance strategy? And if you have the threat and you have the weakness, what is your regroup or withdraw strategy? So I do this for my clients so that we will be very, very clear about, how to attack, how to defend, where to build alliances, and where maybe we can, regroup as far as our programs are concerned. This is a workshop that you can conduct. And then finally, this is the coronavirus, Corona Canvas. Again, another workshop. You can Google this. Again, you have to look at your value proposition. Do you still have the product market fit, etc.? And is your customer segment, how are the existing customers going to be affected, etc.? So this is a whole thing of activity that we do with our clients. Okay, so you can Google this, you can research on this, but it needs really, a professional guidance if you really want to do this well. Okay, so with that, let me end with this slide. This is the fundamental governance reflection for founder or owners. I always ask this, even before pandemic. These fundamental questions, especially for businesses, for family businesses. Why am I in business? Should I remain in business? Remember, you are in business because you're supposed to solve a problem. It's not all about money. You're in business because you have a mission. What is the mission of your business? Why in this kind of business? Will I go into the same business if I start one today? I asked that earlier. Especially those whose families have been used to this kind of business, namana lang nila. What gives me special meaning in doing this business? This special meaning is the one that drives me. Is the one that gives me the passion. Is the one that, hindi ako napapagod because it is very meaningful. Is this meaning shared to and lived among my family and employees? Do they find meaning in doing this business? Or they just feel obliged in doing this business? It has to be shared and lived, especially among our employees also. What will the customers miss if I close or stop my business? Who are affected and in what way? As I've said, if they don't miss anything, you're just one among them. You don't have significance. What business principles and values should guide me in my business, especially during this pandemic era? We will be challenged, but don't lose your anchor. Grip on your anchor. Your principles and values should guide you. No quick money. It's going to be very, very difficult. Easy come, easy go. Where do I want to bring the business? This is a vision. This is a dreaming. You dream with your people. You dream with your family. Where do you want to bring the business? Who can help me in achieving the above? If God calls me now, what are the options of those left behind? Are they prepared? This is a very, very important question. In fact, I've done workshops lately. Like yesterday, I had a meeting with a board of with a family I've been helping for 10 years already. I challenged them. I did a survey among them. Are you vulnerable during this time? Now, if God will take you, are you ready? Your family, your business. What are your options? Is there a succession plan? You cannot say we are indispensable. Anytime, God can take us. God can take us. We can only plan, but it is really God that will dispose it. Let me end with this prayer. We need to balance life and livelihood. It's not only life and livelihood, but we are called to serve. Wherever we are, we're called to serve. But you cannot serve if you're hungry. You cannot serve. You cannot even share if you have nothing to share. That's why it's very important to protect your life and make sure you make a living, a meaningful living, your livelihood, so that you can also continue in your service. In our community, I always encourage my fellow servant leaders to always pray. That's why we have the church community. We pray. But pay is also very important. That's why I conducted the same workshop to the members of our community who are in business, because we also rely on them. Pay is also very important. While you pray, you need to sustain yourself so that you can continue serving, you can continue sharing. At the end of the day, you also deserve to play. You also deserve to enjoy the fruits of our labor. You also deserve, to enjoy the fruits of our labor and the gift of God in many, many ways. So let me end that with all of these challenges, kapit lang tayo sa Panginoon. Kapit tayo. Sabi ko nga, kapit patalim tayo sa Panginoon. Sabi nga ni Peter sa Lord, where else do we go? Where else do we go? Let's plan. Let's do our best. But remember, anchor in the Lord. And trust. He said this. And trust in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Let's claim it. The Lord has big plans for us. Hang on, keep your anchor, embrace. Huwag tayong magpabaya sa sarili. However, kapit tayo sa Panginoon. Salamat po sa lahat.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Esplita, for sharing us on this topic. Very interesting, right? No? So, if you have questions, you can drop them in our chat panel. And also, for those who are watching us through Facebook Live, you can also type in your questions para maitanong po natin sa ating resource speaker. Alright, so parang wala akong nakikitang questions. But there's a comment here saying, excellent speaker who touches both on economic aspects and spiritual side of things. Much appreciated. So, Professor Nono is also a life coach, a servant leader, and a shepherd. And so he touches both aspects na, in economic and on the spiritual side. Right, so I
Well,
think wala akong...
I'm also happy to say that, even what I'm doing, um, I, I, I founded this company, this consulting company, with a purpose. Now, I walk the talk. There's a purpose here. And in fact, if you visit our website, I will encourage you to visit our website. I think that was in my last slide. Can I flash back again? No?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you flash back my... Wala eh. Yung last slide ko. Ito, nakita nyo ba? You visit FarmCore.
Sir, you can...
Yeah.
You can share your content.
FarmCoreConsultants.com. Very easy. You can. So I would say this is a calling also. And all of my clients, sa totoo lang, lahat kami doon since kung hindi marunong magdasal, matutong magdasal.
Yes, sir.
Matutong magdasal. And all meetings we start with a prayer always. We always imbibe that as businessmen, we are also stewards. Hindi naman atin lahat ito eh. Lahat naman tayo, we're lucky to have been given by the Lord this gift of the business. But it has to have a mission. Kung walang mission, ang dami dyan they come and go. But who are those businesses that remain? Those that are blessed, because not only that the Lord takes care of them, but even their clients, even their customers love them. And the people working in them are very, very loyal to them. So yan ang one of the things that we should also, if you're in business, your business has to have a mission. So like us also at Facebook, FarmCore Consultants. Okay. Thank you. I'm you to entertain more questions.
All right, sir. I think I'm seeing questions here from Sir Julio Vintanilla Jr. Do you have, sir, any advice on how to fight stress during this time of pandemic?
I also have my share of them. And in fact, I have been sharing. Ako, gusto ko matulog ako na yung antok na ako kasi ang daming iniisip, no? But at the end of the day, ito yung sekreto ko because I'm also prayerful. I say the rosary before I sleep. Habang hindi ko naman kontrolado lahat ito eh. Kung hindi mo kontrolado yan, madaling sabihin, hindi mo kontrolado yan, bigay mo lang kay Lord. Kaya makakatulog ka rin. So, if you rely on yourself, and many things are not within your control, you'll really be worried, no? And I'm not spared with that. I have to tell you that sometimes in the middle of the night, I wake up. Tapos, meron kang iniisip. Of course, I lost money during this time. I lost money. But, pero lang yan. What is important is you survive, no? In the middle of the night, you wake up. Or, kung antok na, minsan may pumasok sa isip mo, mawala yung antok mo. But I go back again. Tapos meron akong app sa cellphone ko, may prayer app. Saka may music, may prayer app. So I play the prayer app. Minsan, mag-grocery ulit ako sa app. Hindi mo matapos yung grocery, tulog ka na eh. And that's a way of coping it. But again, you also have to talk to the rest of the family members because Yung stress naman kasi hindi mo pwedeng sa'yo lang yun. You have to share that. No? You have to share, you have to express. Sometimes, mawala yung stress mo kung masabi mo lang. Na-express mo lang. So many people, when they go to counselors, they just talk about it. Wala man lang. They just need a sounding board. They just need somebody to listen. Luluwag na yung pakiramdam nila. You have to talk to your family. You have to talk to people. And kung may utang ka malaki, huwag mong iwasan. And usapin mo lang yung pinag-utangan mo. Yeah, wala naman akong quick solution dyan, pero magdasal lang tayo. Importante yung dasal. Importante yung buo kayo sa pamilya mo. Kasi kung minsan po, ang family din ang nagbibigay ng stress sa'yo, mahirap din yun. So, mag-aaway kayo ng asawa ninyo, mga anak, etc. kung hindi na intindihan. So, yun lang ang masasabi ko. There is also a seminar about that, no? The Center for Family Ministries conducted by Ateneo. I've attended. There was a Facebook live. I think there was one that you can replay. I will try to forward that to this group after this. No? I'll try to look at it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I really agree, no, sir, that in this time, in this difficult times, it's really high time that we cling to our faith to the Lord. That is always good all the time. All right, so we have here another question, sir. It says, is it a good time to look for a business partner, or can you recommend it?
Yung business partner, para kayong, I just compare it na mag-boyfriend, girlfriend, partner eh. Hindi madaling maghanap ng partner. Ako, I have done consolidation, for example, of ito, rural banks ito, owned by 4 families. Mahirap ha? But importante, there is chemistry. Parehas ang prinsipyo ninyo. Parehas yung panindigan ninyo. Parehas yung values, set of values. So, before even consummation of that consolidation of that partnership, I did a workshop for them. It's a deep, like personal reflection, family reflection, etc. Kasi dati, kung ikaw ang may-ari ng negosyo, you call the shots. And now, you will partner, you will merge with somebody, etc. You don't call the shots anymore. You have to agree on that. You have to trust the person. Minsan kasi yung partnership is hindi lang dahil sa may pera siya. Kailangan meron kayong chemistry, kailangan may alignment. May alignment. Parehas din yan sa mag-nobyo, mag-shota, ganyan. Kung mag-asawa kayo, kung long-term partnership yan. Kasi kung hindi kayo aligned, kung hindi kayo magkasundo sa maraming bagay, mag-aaway kayo. Nag-aaway nga yung pamilya eh. Lalo na kung what more kung partners na hindi mo kapamilya. So, yun lang, ang advice ko is, it's not going to be, there's a criteria of choosing partners. It's not only about the money, but it's an alignment of the purpose. If you go back to the 7S model, it's an alignment of the shared values, shared vision, the shared mission. Then, if there is alignment there, the trust, importante ang trust factor. Kung may alignment yan, at saka you complement with your businesses, madali na lang. Ang gagawin na lang is how to do it. And madali na lang yan. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you so much, sir. We have here another question. As an employee, how to boost our social and emotional health in this time of pandemic?
Again, you go back to your personal anchor. Personal anchor is your personal beliefs, personal values. You cannot rely everything on your employer because your employer also has a problem now. Huge problem. So, sana hindi ka magdagdag ng problema doon sa employer mo. But you have to understand the situation and you also have to manage yourself. Personal anchor, yung values mo, yung paniwala mo, ano yung importante sa buhay mo. And ngayon, disrupted lahat. Maghanap tayo talaga ng diskarte. So, look at the right side. If you're an employee in the left side, you cannot expect much. You cannot expect much. You cannot demand much. In fact, I'm even recommending that meron sanang moratorium muna ng mga CBA negotiations during this time. That, ang hirap eh. Ang hirap. You cannot demand, no? Importante na may means tayo na mag-survive lang. Hindi na yung mga extra na ano. So you have to understand your employer also. Huwag tayong magpasaway. Huwag tayong magbigay ng kasi malaki ang problema talaga sa mga negosyante ngayon. So, tulungan lang tayo. And what's important, maybe, siguro, kayo is, there is that what you call the peer, support system. You support each other. Sa akin naman, if you have a community, that's one of the things that nakaka-relieve the stress. You join a community. Prayer meetings. When I was younger, I was with Rotary. I had so much problems in the workplace. I was running a company. So much problem. But when I go to my Rotary meetings, wala yung, and then you now listen to other people's problems. There are many people who have bigger problems than us. Importante lang na we are given the capacity to really handle our own problems. Thank you. I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I think let's now proceed to the last two questions. We have here very informative representation, sir. Thank you very much. Do you have any advice on how to communicate to upper management this learnings you've shared? Worried kasi they are making assumption of the market instead of gathering data. I'm worried. I'm worried the business. Naputo. Pero the question is, do you have any advice on how to communicate to upper management this learnings you have shared? Sir?
Alam mo, that's always a challenge when the owners, the management, the owners, do not have that perspective. I mean, very, very important. It starts kasi with the owners, it starts with the leaders, but you can always influence them, no? Without really telling them itong gawin, etc. You can always influence. Kanino ba sila nakinig? You always have to find emissaries. You always have to find the go-between. Kung hindi mo kayang sabihin yan, you find a go-between. Saan sila nakikinig? But the other thing also, anyway, ito naman, naka-Facebook Live tayo dito, di ba? So you can share this link to your group. Maybe kasama siya sa group, may chat group kayo, etc. Maybe you can share that. Ito, I have to tell you this. No? I'm generous in sharing you this because I want to help more. So I'm very happy also that when I look at the pre-registration, the more people I'm endorsing this to the city, ma-legislate that your compliance will be a basis of your renewal of the business permit. Many businessmen reacted, you're making it difficult for us. It's going to be costlier. Sa totoo lang, eh, yun ang gusto sana naming mangyari at saka pati yung testing na bago kayo bumalik sa trabaho, testing. May lumabas na guidelines sa DOH na testing should not be a requirement in going back to work. So, balikan sa trabaho. As if like you just switch on, balikan sa trabaho. Walang testing, walang ganyan, no? So, look at what is happening now. So, sa akin naman, kaya sabi ko nga, balancing of life and livelihood. There has to be that workplace standard. It's not the same again, no? It's not the same again. So, mahirap eh. Kayo mismo, you can control your movement, you can control yourself. But like wearing of mask, you can do that yourself. Maglagay ka ng alcohol sa bulsa mo. I always carry this, a small alcohol in my pocket. So, and every now and then, make it a habit to always, kung wala kang, dyan, kung hindi ka makahugas ng kamay, make it a habit always, no? Lagay mo timer sa cellphone mo every 15 minutes kaya. Every 30 minutes kaya. Or every time that you meet some people. Okay. Yan. That is personal discipline yan eh. And then, social distancing. Importante yan. So, you yourself can do that, no? Even without your employer, strictly implement it. Kaya kuminsan nga tayo ang lax eh. Kami nga, sinasabihan na dito sa Cebu, tigas ang ulo namin. Well, ganyan, no? So, to a certain degree, it takes a discipline. Para bang nung araw ba na you have to wear seatbelt when you drive. Ang daming kasaway. Ayaw mag-seatbelt. Meron pa nga binibenta na lang ngayon na ilagay mo lang sa seatbelt pero hindi ka nag-seatbelt kasi nag-alarm eh. Hindi naman tama yan. Pero the moment you get used to wearing seatbelt, when you drive a car and you are not wearing a seatbelt, you feel not so secured in your seat. Hindi ka So, it's a matter of getting used to wearing masks, always washing your hands, and also to, observe that social distancing. So, again, if your employer is not doing that, you have to do that yourself, just also to protect yourself and to protect others. Of course, your employer has to be reminded, kung nahirapan siya to ensure this, etc., tulungan na lang tayo. Salamat. I hope. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing us your great insights and for inspiring us, Professor Noy. I think we covered most of the questions. So to our participants, if you have other inquiries or concerns, just don't hesitate to reach us through our Facebook page. All right. So, sir, may I share my content?
Sure. Okay. You have to.
Yes, sir. May I have the ball?
So how do I do this? I have to.
Just click and drag, sir.
Francis?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
I-click and drag lang po, sir, yung presentation ball. Right here. I am now the presenter, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. So, as a simple way of giving appreciation, we will award a certificate of recognition to our resource speaker. This digitally signed certificate will be sent to your email address, Professor Noy. Let me read to you the citation. This certificate of recognition is proudly given to Virgilio G. Espaleta, in grateful acknowledgement for being the resource speaker in the webinar entitled The 4RI Business Journey, conducted by the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Visayas Cluster 2, on July 1, 2020 at 10 a.m. Digitally signed by Director Leo Cipriano L. Ortiz Tundo Jr. Alright, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I
Thank
will
you so
receive
much.
it.
Thank you.
Director Leo, thank you, Director Leo. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much also for inviting me, Director Leo, and magkita-kita naman tayo sa RDC eh. So, pwede mo rin namang iabot sa akin yung actual talaga na certificate later.
Pwede
Thank you.
po, sir. Sir, thank you so much po for sharing us your precious time and your expertise. But sir, before we proceed, or before anything else, no, before we proceed any further, do you have or do you want to say anything?
I think I said much already, but ganun na lang ang exhortation ko sa atin. It's not only in Cebu, but the whole country is challenged. We have to do our part as a citizen. And sinabi ko na ano bang i-anchor with our values and our principles. Hindi naman lahat perfect. Pero kung ang hindi perfect, eh, yun na rin ang ginagawa natin. So, hindi talaga tayo mag-i-improve sa buhay natin, sa pamamalakad sa ating bansa. So, kailangan natin magtulungan para maayos at mag-umunlad yung ating bansa. No? Mahirap talaga sa ngayong panahon. So, magtulungan na lang tayo. Sabi nga nila ay heal as one. Salamat.
Thank you so much, sir.